Shalom, welcome back to the channel. This is Sister Yapashana at 50 Shades of Femininity, House of Abi Yeshaya. I'm picking up with part 2 of childlike anger. Last week we did the introduction to childlikeness. So I want you to think about a time when you have felt mistreated in some way by your husband, or when you felt upset or angry. Just referring to those times that he's been harshly critical or unkind, unfair, that maybe he's insulted you or neglected or ignored you, and it just has you feeling a type of way. If he's hurt your feelings, just upset you in any kind of way, and when he does these things, how you handle it. Okay, just think for a moment. Do you fly off the handle with a nasty temper? Do you shrink back as if a wounded puppy? Do you retreat into your shell with the silent treatment? Or do you hold your tongue but smolder inside? Because the trouble with these reactions, and this is why I really wanted to touch on this, is that they create resentments and cool feelings and provoke arguments. And they make you look ugly. And they make you feel terrible, and it just doesn't. It brings you out of character, and it doesn't align with the set apart spirit of the Most High. And since none of these methods work, let's consider a childlike response. And so, with childlike anger, it's this cute, pert, saucy anger of a childlike kind of way that there's there's no better way of learning childlike anger than watching the antics of little children, especially little girls, who's been spoiled way too much by too much loving. And they're too trusting and innocent, and yet so piquant and outspoken. They're often teased into anger, and they're too innocent to feel hate, jealousy, resentment, and those uglier emotions. When a child is teased, she doesn't respond with some hideous sarcasm. Instead, she stamps her foot and shakes her curls and pouts. She gets adorably angry at herself because her efforts to respond are impotent. And finally, she switches off and threatens never to speak to you again, and then glances back over her shoulder to see if you thought she really meant it, only to stump her foot in impatience when she sees you're not the least bit fooled. A scene such as this invariably makes us smile with amusement. We feel an irresistible longing to pick up such a child and hug it. We would do anything rather than permit such an adorable little thing to suffer danger or want. To protect and care for such a delightfully little human creature would be nothing less than a delight. This is much the same feeling a woman inspires in a man when she expresses anger in a childlike way. Her ridiculous exaggeration of manner makes him suddenly want to laugh. It makes him feel, in contrast, stronger, more sensible, and more of a man. And this is why women who are little spitfires, independent and saucy, are often sought after by men. This anger, however, must be the sauciness of a child and not the intractable stubbornness of a woman well able to kill her own snakes. Okay, I want to talk about the characteristics on how to express childlike anger. To express anger with the innocence of a child, there must be an absence of bitterness, resentment, hate, sarcasm, or the ugly emotions. And if you have a harsh, critical disposition, you'll not be able to express childlike anger until you overcome these serious weaknesses of character. Number 2, your manner. Okay, learn childlike mannerisms by studying the antics of little girls. Stump your foot, lift your chin high, square your shoulders, pout, put both hands on your hips, open your eyes wide, mumble under your breath, or turn and walk briskly away, and then pause and look back over your shoulder. Or beat your fist on your husband's chest. You may have to be an actress to succeed, if only a ham actress. But remember, You'll be launching an acting career that will save you pain and tension and frustration and a damaged relationship and perhaps even a marriage. Is any acting career of greater importance? No. So turn on the drama. Okay? It is guaranteed to ease tension and bring humor into your life instead of pain. So number 3, use adjectives. Okay, acquire a list of adjectives that complement his masculinity, such as big, tough, brute, stubborn, obstinate, or hairy beast. Other appropriate adjectives are unyielding, determined, difficult, hard-hearted, inflexible, unruly, stiff-necked, indomitable, and invincible. Okay, be certain that your words complement his masculinity, but never use words that belittle masculinity, such as little, imp, pipsqueak, insignificant, weak, simple-minded, or dumb. Okay, remember Proverbs 14:1 says, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. So, number 4, exaggerate. I want to talk about exaggeration. Okay, exaggerate his treatment of you by saying, for example, how can a big man like you pick on a poor little helpless girl like me? Or, so this is the way you treat a little defenseless woman? Or, oh, what a dreadful thing to do. Or, be charmingly defensive by saying, I'm just a poor, erring, wayward little human being. Or, everyone has at least one little fault. Nobody's perfect. Or make exaggerated childlike threats by saying, I'll never speak to you again. Or I won't do anything for you anymore. Okay? Or I'll tell your mother on you. Or if he insults you in public, say, wait until I get you home alone. Or I'll get even with you. But be sure your expressions represent a trustful, feminine woman of high character, not a vulgar, overbearing, or suspicious one. Okay? And why do children tend to exaggerate? Because they feel little and helpless in the presence of adults or even other children. Unconsciously, in moments of frustration, they try to make up for their smallness by exaggerations. And therefore, when a woman uses this same method, she gives the man the impression that she's little and helpless and therefore childlike. Okay, and number 3, tears. If you feel the impulse for tears, it could be childlike. Be certain it reflects the innocence of a child and not the emotional turmoil of a deeply disturbed woman. And there's nothing which so frustrates a man as a hysterical woman. Okay? For me personally, sometimes this can be a bit much when I try to just shift the mood from going left and put on that childlikeness type of anger and sauciness to express that I'm not happy about what he said or what's going on, but at the same time just not trying to allow it to go south, okay, and go down the dark path. And so my personal way is I'll kind of just like do more expression, not so much verbally, but with body language, like the folding of the hands, the stomping the foot, the pouty lips, maybe even like I put my head down and let a tear roll out, or even just look and say like, that hurt my feelings, and kind of just like stump off, but look back and that sort of thing. Not so exaggerated, because that's just it would be too far from my character. But if you can do the whole thing to get like humor out of it, but also like it lets him know, like, seriously though, like that's not right, or I'm mad about that, you know, but also you're getting like a little humor out of it, then go for it, you know. But I wanted to discuss next when you have the right to be angry. So I'm going to pick up with when you have the right to be angry on our next talk, because I just wanted to keep these really short and simple. And we'll talk about like major offenses and how to overcome anger. All right. And yeah, like I said, I just want to keep these short and break them up. So thanks for tuning in at 50 Shades of Femininity. And also just keep in mind, like I was saying on the first video, the first talk that I uploaded with childlikeness, you know, the scripture that talks about that we shall not inherit the kingdom lest we be conformed as little children. There's plenty of scriptures that tell us that, you know, be slow to anger. Anger is foolish. And yeah, I just wanted to leave with that. And again, thanks for tuning in. Shalom.